is in the air in Philly this weekend. The defending champs, Philadelphia Soul, come home for the first time in 2017. Standing in their way, the new kid on the block, the Baltimore Brigade. Old meets new right now. Welcome to week 4 of the Arena Football League on CBS Sports Network. Inside Wells Fargo Center for the Baltimore Brigade at 1-1 and the Philadelphia Soul at 2-0. How about glad you're along. Brett Stover and the Hall of Fame quarterback and Seth Bonner. Pleased to be here. You got the NFL draft. You got the Soul, their home opener, unfurling the championship banner from last season.
Just call it what it is, the football mecca of the world right now here in Philadelphia. The Soul, celebratory season from a year ago, winning the championship, unveiling the banner. The upstart Baltimore Brigade come in here to try to take some of that shine off of the trophy.
Upstart because they've got a fun young quarterback to watch. It's the rookie Shane Carden.
Shane Carden is one of those kids that has all the intangibles, loves the game of football, loves to compete. Extremely strong arm, can make all the throws. You see the good numbers so far. Just 2 interceptions on the season. Athleticism, moving left, going right down the field with accuracy. He's a guy that can make every throw on the field. I like his upside. Great athlete. Things break down around him, he can use his legs to make a play.
He's got a little bit of gunslinger in him. That's why he's so electrifying to watch. If he wants to learn the game pretty quick, it'd be smart to watch Dan Rodabaugh on the other side, who's got a fantastic group of guys around him.
He does. This trio of wide receivers all had over 1,000 yards receiving. They accounted for 3,700 yards, over 3,700 yards, 83 touchdowns a year ago. Sean Kalanamoku is extremely quick, can explode the field, stretch it. And then you got Ryan McDaniel, old Mr. Reliable, great route runner, extremely great hands. Can get open, can run through arm tackles. The guy they really rely on is Darius Money Reynolds. This kid is extremely explosive and physical, the most physical wide receiver in the AFL. You'll enjoy watching these three tonight.
The face of the Philly franchise is the owner, Ron Jaworski, and he's promised to bring in some of his football buddies. Some familiar faces going to be part of a festive atmosphere tonight between the Brigade and the Soul. Mentioned going to break to Ron Jaworski, the owner of the Soul, bringing along some friends. And there's the Baltimore Ravens quarterback and local kid Joe Flacco. The Baltimore Brigade and the Philadelphia Soul, week 4 of the Arena Football League here on CBS Sports Network. The Brigade 1-1, the Soul off to a 2-0 start, playing their first game at home. The defending Arena Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Soul.
And that's the head. What's your call?
Tails.
Call is tails. Please toss it. You're going to toss it? You got it.
Tails never fail.
Tails is the call.
Come on, tails never fail. Go ahead, we depart.
It is a head. Philadelphia won the toss.
Philadelphia wins the toss, and they're going to defer. 4 15-minute quarters, running clock until the final minute. 50 yards by 85 feet, no punting, no stunning or twisting. Ball off the net live. 1 wide out, allowed to be in forward motion before the snap. You said it's the football mecca this weekend. Fun time to be in Philadelphia. Obviously one of the great sports cities in our country, but with the NFL draft going on and the Soul and their championship and quarterback Clint Dolzell, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play in this league like yourself, Seth Bonner. This is a fun night and a fun weekend for the Arena Football League.
It really is, and to culminate it, or to really put the exclamation point on the weekend, the Soul have to come out here and play lights out football. That's what you got to do. You don't want to put a banner up and then go out and lay an egg. These guys got to come out ready and explosive tonight against a really hungry Baltimore Brigade team.
All right, Cassie McKinney is the 3rd member of our team. Good evening, Cassie.
Hey there, Brent and Dan. When you look up at that championship banner, what emotions are going through your head?
You know, it was a magical season with, wonderful people, and it came together for us at the right time. And, I'll never forget that. I'll cherish it with my brothers and my Soul family forever. But it's a new night, and got to cap that wonderful celebration off with a win.
And to focus and make sure you have another repeat season like that, talk about the task at hand tonight. What do you have to do to be successful?
you know, they're well coached. They got a good defense. They got a learning offense. So we got to take care of the ball when we got it, punch it in, and do our job.
All right, best of luck, Dan. Thanks.
Dan Rodabaugh, the quarterback for the Soul. And he has been phenomenal. You saw the numbers, 101 touchdown throws last year. Had 6 touchdown throws and 278 yards in the Arena Bowl. Off to a great start again this year. Omar Smith, who was the head coach of the Los Angeles Kiss last season, is now the head coach of the expansion Baltimore Brigade as they come on the road at 1-1. Getting a win their last time out. Coming off of a bye, but 2 weeks ago they got a 52-49 win over Cleveland, and their quarterback Shane Carden had 6 touchdown throws in that game.
He's coming on really fast and strong. He's a young kid that's starting to read the defenses and figure things out. The ball's coming out of his hand on time. I feel by the end of the year, he'll be one of the top guys in the league because he just has that knack and kind of that it factor when it comes to throwing the football and making plays in this league.
So Philly won the toss. They deferred. Varmasoni, who already has 1 kick return touchdown for Baltimore this season, set to take it from Philadelphia kicker Adrian Trevino. And here we go. Home and opener for the defending champs. And here's Sony, middle of the end zone. And Varmasoni upended, loses the football around the 9, and it's recovered by Philadelphia, but they mark him down. Sony marked down back at the 7-yard line. So that's where Baltimore begins their opening possession off of a near fumble here.
Once a knee, it's tough to see from that angle. However, once any part of that forearm gets down right there, that's down. That's a good call by Neil Brunner, the linesman, came in there and made a nice call.
So quarterback Shane Carden in his offense out there first with the expansion at 1-1 Baltimore Brigade. The rookie from East Carolina, where he had a phenomenal collegiate career, lofts it up near boards, open man, and it's hauled in by big play Reggie Gray. No, they wave it off, incomplete. And the defense coming over there to help defensively for Philadelphia. And this secondary is awesome. You got Hollis and Romaine and Stevenson and Torres Jones back there to contend with this quarterback Carden.
And that's a matchup right there that they felt could work for them. But Dwayne Hollis on the backside on that corner can run with anybody. And that's what these guys, they have zero fear, the secondary, because they can all run and stay on top of you. They don't allow you to get on top of them unless they guess a route.
They will take some chances. Carden, quick hitter over the middle. It's caught and dragged down at the 13-yard line. After the reception is Laquan Williams, the second-year man from Maryland.
You see the hands there in traffic. Ball's on his back shoulder, and he's able to snatch it in. Great job of using the hands and tucking it in.
Starters on offense. Dixon in the backfield. The receivers with Williams, Gray, and Browning.
There's a receiving core that doesn't have a lot of experience together, but they're improving each day. And I'm talking about each day in practice, these guys are getting better.
On 3rd down and 4, Carden over the middle to his tight end. It's dropped. Ian Joseph, second-year player from UC Davis, couldn't haul it in, and it brings up 4th down for Baltimore.
It's a good call. It's just a tight end sneak route. He blocks for a half a count and then takes and delays up the field. Ball a little bit out in front. You see Joe Gooseby, the veteran, the wily 7th-year veteran, out of Tulane, able to get over there and put a lick on him before he could bring it in.
2 interceptions last year for Gooseby, off to another good start this year at the Jack, as you mentioned. On 4th and 4, just underway from Philadelphia. Carden to throw from the 7, deep, middle, man, Williams, unable to make the catch, and Philadelphia gets an early defensive stop with Torres Jones in coverage.
I'll tell you what, this is a great ball, and Laquan Williams really mistimes his jump. Just stay on your feet and run. You see right there, he's on his way back down. He kind of misjudges it. First time in the building for this young man, playing in these lights, not able to react, but that's a play that he's got to go up and make, help the quarterback out. That's a nice ball there from Shane Carden.
So Philadelphia fortunate to get an early stop, and they go on offense for the first time tonight with Dan Rodabaugh. Ryan McDaniel in motion from the 13. Handoff. Michael Benson off the left side. Benson dances in for the Philadelphia touchdown.
That's just too easy.
Fourth rushing touchdown for Benson already this season.
It's a really good job up front. Let the DN go upfield, and the jack was taken out of the play immediately. That's a good job of blocking up front. See Big Adam Smith on the left edge there, just walls his man up the field.
Philadelphia going back to last year on a 9-game winning streak, including the title. 2-0 to start this year. And 3-0 is off to a nice start.
That's really easy right there. Ryan McDaniels comes down to crack. Can't make the play. The big fella, sweet on his feet, nimble down the sideline.
He made his debut with the Milwaukee Mustangs in 2011. Now in his 7th year from Florida A&M. And Michael Benson just ran in his 4th touchdown of the year. And Philadelphia gets an early defensive stop and a 1-play touchdown drive. And they are the only unbeaten team.
Listen, as a quarterback, these are the kind of games that always scared me because everything's going so well, so fast, so early.
Was that you giving me the pump the brakes motion?
That pump the brakes a little bit. Everything's going so well, so early. I used to hate it. I wanted to get on the field for a little bit of a grind drive, at least get a couple hits in me.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way early. Nothing happened. Dan didn't even bring a sweat right there. He just handed the ball off, and Michael Benson did the rest.
I mean, it's a passing league, but we've seen how Philadelphia loves to utilize Benson, and why not? He's been a good one in this league now for a long time.
Well, if you look at the past Arena Bowl champions of this league, the teams that typically won have rushing attacks. And that means you're able to utilize your fullback and even your specialty game with your tight end and fullback together.
Reggie Gray back deep to take it off the net this time for Baltimore. It was Sony on the first one. Gray with a seam. Flags down. Gray still on his feet. Finally gets tattooed just shy of the 20. And we'll see what the penalty is.
Shutdown says you're going down. And there's a flag on the play all the way back towards the end zone.
It'll negate a 26-yard kickoff return.
Return, illegal block in the back. Number 17 of the receiving team. Penalty after distance of the goal. First down.
So for the Brigade, it'll be a penalty marking it back at the 2-yard line.
Not the kind of start you want. And listen, Shane Carton put a couple throws out there early in this game in that first drive that at least the last 4th down play, you got to make that catch and help the quarterback out as well as your team.
Such a fine line instead of about 1st and goal. They turn it over on downs, and Philly 1 play later has a 7-0 lead. Reggie Gray in motion from the 2, Shane Carton in his own end zone. Open man, Gray. And Gray the catch and rip down at the Philadelphia 17-yard line on a gain of 29.
This is a play by design. Reggie Gray's number 2, 3 in the formation. He stutters like he's going to stop, and then he goes up the middle. Shane Carton did a nice job to eyeball his crossing route there, which pulled Hollis up for just enough time. And he's able to stick the ball on Reggie Gray down the field. That's a nice job by Shane Carton.
Gray and Williams each with catches. Paul Browning, another starter. The 4th receiver is Julian Talley. From the 20. Carton with time again, zips it in, broke it up. And that's part of that vaunted secondary James Romaine.
And look, he's doing push-ups because he feels like he missed an opportunity for an interception. This guy is extremely quick, and when he trusts his instincts and his footwork, watch him sit on this thing and react. When he trusts his footwork and instinct, he is incredible to watch. Extremely quick, great feet, and is about as competitive as you can get. That's the one thing you say about every safety in this league. They compete.
From the 19 on 2nd down, Carton. Rifles hit, and he gets batted down there at the line, or his arm got hit. Fluttered all over the place, and a marker down.
I think they're going to get Joe Gooseby for being out of the box. The Jack linebacker can only go 6 yards deep and across the field.
Illegal defense, number 19. defense. The non-rushing linebacker was more than 5 yards deep. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Dave Katai, obviously
it's
18,
number 18,
excuse me.
Yeah. Hey, it's old school. Dave's been around for a long time, so he thinks he's seeing Ryan McDaniel still out there on offense. You know, he's been around when it was, you know, two-way players.
Yeah, Iron Man. Back in your day, from the 19, the 14, I should say. 5-yard penalty, first down. Baltimore's Carden fires far side too high. Intended that time for Julian Talley.
And that's a cause of Teddy Jennings being all 6'6", coming off the edge, getting up and in the face of Carden. You see the linemen trying to get down at their knees and cut them to keep their hands down, but if they don't do a good enough job, that's a long, tall individual on both ends there to get the ball up and over.
Jake Metz is here tonight as well. He's now with the Buffalo at 9 sacks. Part of that defensive line and Arena Bowl title team a year ago for Philly. We had Jennings, Lawrence, and Daniels there. John Sheehy, the fourth man in the rotation, and broken up again. And again, it's James Romaine.
I'm telling you, you cannot go cruising into your breaks against this dude. You've got to get up on his toes and run. And the ball has to be thrown a little earlier out in front of him so he can run through and get it. And this guy will sit because he is so quick. He will sit and explode to the ball after it's thrown.
And he and his mates are licking their chops with a rookie quarterback who's still learning about just how quick you have to be with your timing and decision making.
And that all gets even tougher when you get down inside the 15-yard line in the red zone.
3rd and 10 from the 14. Over the middle, caught. Down to the 5-yard line, just shy of a first down. Forward progress will put it at the 6. It's a gain of 8 yards, and now it'll be 4th and short.
It's a little bow route or arrow route or whip route, however you want to call it. It's a down. Reggie Gray goes down the field, act like he's going to start the crossing route, then pivots up. Good throw and catch. You see every player on that team for the Soul getting in there and ripping at the ball, trying to pull it out of there, trying to create another turnover, something this team does extremely well.
From the 6, it's 4th and 2. Crowd coming alive inside Wells Fargo Center. Browning in motion, a handoff, didn't get there. They tried for Rory Nixon. 2 possessions for Baltimore, 2 defensive stops for the defending champs.
That's a great job.
How about that?
Teddy Jennings plays off the block outside and shuts it down. No, get off the field.
If you want access to every AFL game at once, go to arenafootball.com, click AFL Live. For online broadcasts of games around the league. Cleveland getting a win last night, their first of the year. This the other game in week number 4 of the AFL. So a good start for Philadelphia on both sides. And Dan Rodabaugh and his offense, after the defense gets his 2nd consecutive stop to start the game, Rodabaugh brings the offense back out. They've run 1 play, they've got 1 touchdown, and you see Rodabaugh's numbers through the opening 2 games. Quick hitter out far side, caught and taken out near the marker, and that is Ryan McDaniel. Offensive starters for the defending champs, the Soul, after a gain of 9 to McDaniel.
See Big Michael Benson and Darius Reynolds, Sean Kalinamoku, Adam Smith just back in the lineup a week ago. Wayne Tribute, the anchor at that center spot, and Keith Newell, the new addition that has proved to be just as good as Neil Tivis, who was an outstanding offensive lineman for them a year ago.
2nd down 1, Money Reynolds the catch and upended out at midfield. The first down in a gain of 10 for the big guy out of Iowa State.
So this is a nice job of getting the ball out and recognizing space. If you're going to leave space against these receivers, Dan's going to get it out of his hands and into the hands of his playmakers quick, not a guy that's going to hold on to the ball for a long time. And I'll tell you what, typically when you see that guy, number 7 with the ball in his hands, he's trying to run over some defensive backs.
They say his route running and he just kind of his arena ball smarts have really taken a step forward this season. Radabaugh, plenty of time, retreats and hits his fullback, and that's Benson, who gains a couple and a marker down.
Offsides play.
And Kataya with a call.
Holding defense number 99 and ineligible to receive. It's a 10-yard penalty and also an automatic first down.
You know, what they do is they run the double release here, and that's a good job by Robert Hayes. You've got to do it. You can't allow the tight end to get away from you. So he locks the tight end down, doesn't allow him to get out. Watch the right side. You see him right there, grab Adam Smith and hold him up so they can't throw him the ball. That's what you're supposed to do. I'll take that all day, every day, even if they call it, because sometimes they miss that play. It's a good call.
You've never been above stretching the rules.
No comment.
Radabaugh, corner route, one-handed touchdown grab, Ryan McDaniel.
That's too easy. I'm just about to say this throw is too late. But Brandon Stevens, when your receiver motions over to the number 3 spot, watch how far inside he stays. And he's too deep. He can't break on that. That is too easy. And watch this sweet one-hand grab. Oh! I mean, these 3 guys together, the most experienced, talented group in the league at the wide receiver position.
15-yard strike, 13-0. Adrian Trevino out of the hole to Luke Collis. Knocks it in, 14-0. Verdan Radabaugh, the 516th passing touchdown of his career, leaving him now only 339 behind the Hall of Famer, Cedric Bonner. Weekdays on CBS Sports Network, former All-Pro Tiki Barber and co-host Brandon Tierney bring their sports expertise and red-hot radio takes to television. Catch Tiki and Tierney weekdays 3 Eastern here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And that is a fun show and a must-watch. And their new studio is awesome. So really happy to have those guys part of the TV aspect of CBS Sports now here on our network. 14-0 Philadelphia leads, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns on defense. They have had 2 chances, gotten 2 stops, now a loose football, loose in the end zone, recovered, Philadelphia touchdown.
I'm not sure. It hits the iron. I'm not sure if it, but it just was misplayed. And once it gets on the ground, that's when you got to have your up back come in to help.
Generally, when it gets caught up in the slack net, they blow the whistle there, Seth.
But it didn't get caught up. It bounced off the iron. It comes off the iron, and I can't really see what part of it, but the Baltimore players were complaining. But if it comes off the iron, it's off the iron. That's hot. You got to get it. It's part of it.
Contact with the ball, plays under further review.
So they're going to review this one here. Dave Kataya going to go for a booth review. It's our Arena Football call to the booth. He's going to put the headset on and talk to the guys in our television truck. You will hear that conversation, and they will roll back different looks of this replay, and he will make the decision.
Okay, what we're looking for is a fan contacting the ball before it hits the turf. If a fan did contact the ball, it's going to be dead. It'll end up in a touchback. So let's see some shots, please. All right, you see the ball comes down. It stays alive even though it hits the slack net. All right, can you go back? Do you have any other shots that are better? All right, can you freeze frame it? Or let's see the other ones. And we're going to go back. We're going to look at that fan's left hand. Does it touch the ball? Remember, it's got to be totally indisputable. Can you go, can you go frame by frame? So far, I don't see anything indisputable that he did touch it. We did not know real change of direction on the ball. Do you have any other shots? Okay, that's your only look. Okay, what we're going to do, since there's no indisputable evidence that the fan touched the ball, we're going to remain, and it's going to be a touchdown. The call will stand.
That is outstanding work by Dave Katayo.
That's a great piece of work. Did a little investigating. The ball didn't change movement. It kept tumbling the exact same way.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
I mean, that's a
There's
really
no indisputable video evidence that a fan touched the ball. Baltimore is charged with a timeout and a challenge.
That's a really good call because you can't. The ball never changes the way it's moving at all. It didn't speed up. If somebody hits it from that angle, it might speed up and start to move quicker. But there was didn't touch the ball, and he just. I mean, that's a good call. Good job.
His explanation was awesome too. That's part of what we love about this league.
It's so transparent, man. It's awesome.
College to hold, and kicker Trevino puts it through. He's 3 for 3. So defensively, Philadelphia's 2 for 2, 2 defensive stops. On offense, they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns, and now they get the special teams touchdown. If you're going to have a home opener celebrating an Arena Bowl title, this is a nice way to start.
It's a great way to start. And I'm going to caution everyone at home, this is arena football. Stay tuned.
So it's 21-0, 2:28 opening quarter. With the NFL draft in town, and this sort of, as you mentioned earlier, putting the stamp on a great football weekend in this city. And Philadelphia making this nice crowd awfully happy so far. You know, I arrived at like 4:20 today, so there's Dick Vermeil, part of the ownership group, 2 hours and 40 minutes before. And there were several sets of fans out tailgating. I mean, this, every time I say this city is awesome sports-wise, they do another thing that, wow, it's even better than I thought.
Yeah, it's awesome. They love this team. They support it. They support it, do a great job of really just, and you know what? In arena football, the best part about the league and the teams are they interject themselves into the community. Yep. They make sure they're out and involved in community service and community things. I mean, it's an incredible relationship. That's why it's the all-fan league.
Well, they're going to try another return man. It's loose. Farmasoni able to regather and escape out to the 2-yard line.
I'm not so sure. I'm not going to get Reggie Gray on the net. He's got a ton more experience back there returning. And I guess, you know, it doesn't matter who you put back there if Trevino's going to keep hitting the net or the iron, excuse me.
Yeah, you've been known to be hard on kickers from time to time. Is that fair?
I like some.
Okay, all right. That answers the question.
I got a couple that were special to me.
But when you have a guy that can do that, I mean, it's a huge asset in this
kicker
league.
Here last year, Tommy Freeberg's one of my favorite kickers in this league. I've had a few guys that I like that were kickers.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of iron when you think about how far you got to kick it off. I mean, you've got a guy that can be consistent with it. Flags down. Carden launches off his back foot. And over the head that time of Reggie Gray.
I think Reggie might be a little pulled up a little bit.
And the news just gets worse for this Baltimore team. We'll see what the call is.
Offsides defense, number 90 in the neutral zone at the time of the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It would be 98. It would be 98.
We're struggling a little bit with the numbers.
But they're doing a good job. They're making the right calls.
Yes.
Love it.
Earlier we had a 17 from the Brigade. I don't see a 17 on it.
You see him try to explode, and he can. He's laboring a little bit. And the one thing Reggie has is tremendous speed, and he's got a ton of experience. Now you're looking at a very inexperienced receiving core from Baltimore.
Talley, Brown, and Williams. This one is caught by Browning, not much, as he gets hit by Dwayne Hollis, among others. Coming over there to help out John Sheehy.
This is a guy that out of Texas, West Texas A&M, is a guy that Coach Dozell likens to Teddy Jennings, Jake Metz. It's kind of a mix between those two guys. And I'm like, that's high praise. And he goes, well, it still hasn't come together for him yet, but he gets it. He understands the game. He's just learning how to play in the short space. But a really good-looking athlete, 6'5", 270, very quick, explosive.
So a disastrous start here for Baltimore. And now Reggie Gray, top receiver, is headed back to the locker room. On 2nd down and 4, final minute, first quarter. Carden, this is what he can do. Carden elusive and gets it out to the 8-yard line.
I love the fact that he can do those kind of things, but you can't live on it, because I don't want to see number 6 go to the bench. He's improving. He's getting better. You don't want to miss time, because you've got to run around out there and try to make every play. He needs his 3 receivers, and they're all big guys. Paul Browning, 6'3", 220. Laquan Williams, 6'2", 210. Julian Talley, 6'1", 190. These guys have to find a way to shake the pesky little DBs from the soul and get open.
Well, this has been tough for Baltimore as we reach the end of the first. Offensively, no continuity. The quarterback Carden just 3 for 11. Philly has 2 offensive touchdowns, a special teams touchdown as well. Here at home after one, 21-0. Soul the advantage on CBS Sports Network. Ron Jaworski and his Philadelphia Soul at 21-0. A lot of reasons to be happy. That's a near perfect quarter. They've run 4 offensive plays, right? And they get 2 offensive touchdowns and a special teams touchdown. And their defense has gotten 2 opportunities out there, and they've got 2 stops.
Did you say near perfect?
Oh yeah, it is perfect. And unfortunately, it's Reggie Gray, top receiver for Baltimore, just went to the locker room injured. So it's wow.
Well, listen, you got to grow up when you grow up, and guys have to step up right now. Young, talented receiver core, they've got to step up and make every possible play for Shane Carden.
Carden from inside his own 5, and he's sacked. And the news gets worse. Bo Pell.
It's his 3rd sack of the season, but he and Justin Lawrence just go about their business. You see, he starts to the left. They catch Afusia and Rory Nixon with their eyes too far. That's a good dart back to the opposite side with power and quickness.
3rd sack. 6-year man from UNLV.
Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year when he came out of school.
You probably called a few of his games.
That was a little before me. However, I watched a bunch of his games.
Yeah, you do a ton of those games out there. That's why I mentioned it. 4th and a dozen, and now whistles blow. 0 for 2 on 4th so far.
Number 6. After this is the goal, remains 4th down.
This is disastrous here for the Brigade. Tell you what, the head coach Omar Smith does nothing but wins. 4 readable titles in his 9 years as a player, but he's got his work cut out for him here in 2017 with an expansion team and a rookie quarterback. On 4th down, end zone, Carden deep, got a man, underthrew him, but the catch made. Julian Talley, huge. Down inside the Philadelphia 15 on a gain of 30.
Just what the doctor ordered. I talked about the size from these wide receivers, and Julian Talley 6'1", 190, but just boxes out. And Rowe is there. Romaine is right there on the coverage, but he goes up and makes the play, and that's what you got to have. Those extra effort plays that keep drives moving. That's a great job by the young receiver.
Carden, end zone, throws it up, nearly intercepted the back of the end zone by Dwayne Hollis.
And that's a route you cannot anticipate that long or that early for this route. You're on the 13-yard line. You can't hang it up early because typically a DB is going to stay over the top in the red zone unless they're pressing. They're going to stay deeper. So you've got to wait for him to come out of his break and put it on his face, especially with the size that this receiving core has. All things he will learn as he continues to go.
From the 13, second down, early moments, second quarter. Sixth play of the drive for the Brigade. Got to get on the board here, dump it off. Rory Nixon, nothing there. Wrestled into the near boards.
That's just good, solid defense. You see, anytime, if you're well-coached defense, anytime you get trips with motion going to trips away, you want to hesitate your linebackers from a blitz. Pause, make sure, especially your defensive end on the backside is aware of any double release plays, and that's exactly what that was. That was well executed by the defense for the Philadelphia Soul.
3rd and 11 from the 14. Tally in motion. Carden rifles it, end zone, caught, touchdown.
Big body.
Laquan Williams, 14-yard strike.
That's a good throw right there. A laser. Fifth TD of the season, but it's a post route. Stutters, beats Therese Jones over the middle, and then once he gets that big body in front, you see him go out with the hands and make the beautiful grab. And that's a good job of fighting back from the Brigade because they were on the brink of disaster. They were able to fight out of it. Big play to Julian Talley, got him out of the hole, and a beautiful throw and catch there.
And that was on the 4th down, the 30-yarder that got him out of the hole, a 4th and long. Pat Clark, extra point. This is what you were talking about right here, Seth.
Little bit of life left, and sometimes you just got to want it more than the other guy does. Great job by Julian Talley.
Philly had gone 48 minutes and 28 seconds, which in this game is massive, without giving up a point, the defense, until that touchdown by Laquan Williams. 21-7 game, so at least some signs of life here for Baltimore.
I love what I saw because there was fight. There was fight in this team, and Carden just continued to saw away, chop wood, as you call it. Big play from Julian Talley and a little momentum for the visitors.
So 4 minutes into the second quarter, it's 21-7. The 1-1 Brigade, the 2-0 Soul. And Reggie Gray in the locker room. Hasn't come back out yet for Baltimore. It's his birthday as well, so a tough break for the veteran receiver for the Brigade, who came in with 22 catches for 231 and 4 touchdowns.
Big play, Reggie Gray. When he is healthy, he's one of the most dangerous guys in this league. Even at his small size, the things he's been able to do over the years, over his career, been incredible, considering that everyone thought he was too small when he first got into the league.
Pat Clark sends it away. And into the crowd with Chris Duvault back deep. Come out to the 5-yard line. So Philadelphia is only run 4 offensive plays. The offense has 2 touchdowns. They got a fumble recovery in the end zone on special teams. And for Philly, it's their first play in the last 9 game minutes. So Radabal, he could have taken a nap over there, gone to dinner.
Now you got to try to get back into the flow of game. And this is the one thing with Philly, at times they tend to, I'm not saying they're not trying to score, but they tend to take the foot off the gas, and there's a few mistakes here and there.
McDaniel
Not one
open
of those
deep.
times.
Touchdown, Philadelphia. 45 yards, Radabal to McDaniel.
That's just too easy, and they're getting the matchup they want, knowing that the backside corner, Brandon Stevens, is one of the most physical guys in the league. He comes around in motion and gets caught flat-footed, and the way he was positioned, he looked like he was expecting some help. But that's just too easy.
McDaniel, 3 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a good-looking swing.
That is really, really too easy. You got to make them work for you. Your offense is working their tails off to try to get back in this thing and make some plays. You can't give up the easy ones.
Trevino's 4 for 4, 28-7, 9:40 second quarter.
Want to get a look at how to throw the ball on the money with a free release in stride. Ryan McDaniels back in the zone.
Back in Philadelphia, Soul's offense has barely been out there. It's been efficient, to say the least.
5 plays, 4 scores. Is that what it is?
I believe so. 5 plays, 4 scores. Yep.
That is outrageous.
Well, I mean, yeah, and 3 offensive scores. But either way, I mean, you got the special
outrageous.
teams one. Special teams recover on a kickoff fumble by Baltimore in the end zone. Averaging 18.5 yards per play so far, Philadelphia. It's going to win you games.
Yeah, that's up from their 6.1 yard average.
3 times as much. Varma, Sony, Mac deep. Slack net. Fan touches it this time. It's been tough sledding for Sony, getting opportunities back there.
Little confidence still for the offense coming off their last drive. It seemed like they settled in, were able to make some plays, and talk about it being the young bucks out there now. It's the young fellas trying to make the plays. Paul Browning, 1 year experience. Laquan Williams, 1 year experience. And Julian Talley has been around a couple years as well. So these are a young group of guys that really need to come together quick.
Carton started 3 of 11, so he's connected on his last 4. Browning in motion. Fumbled it, still lost it. Picks it up and falls forward. About a loss of 1 here. McDaniel standing by with Cassie.
Ryan, 2 scores for you tonight. Walk us through that last one. What did you see?
Came down. If we even, we leaving. And Dan put it up. He threw a good ball. Came out 6.
Off to a good start in this first half. What's working so well for you guys? How are you clicking?
We prepare so hard in practice, so when we come out for game day, it's easy for us. At least that's what we try to do. We're just having a good night tonight. We're on rhythm. We're just going to keep punching at them.
And this group of Soul receivers, you guys have so much experience. You work so well together. How do you describe the dynamic?
I can't, man. You put any of us out there, we're going to make a play. Dan's going to put the ball up. We're going to try to attack it. Money, Doovie, SK, me. We got some more young boys back in at practice ready to go. We hungry and ready to get it.
All right, we'll let you get out of the way. Guys?
Cassie, thanks. I like if we're even, we're leaving. This is a confident bunch, and with good reason.
That's the saying. It's that. Go long, throw long. I mean, you got to give them a chance to get down the field. And this just came in with just 1 TD, and this is, for him, 2 big plays.
10 to go on their own 15-yard line. First and 10 on the 15.
Pump fake, Carton, back foot, throw, wide open, touchdown. Jogging into the end zone is Julian Talley.
That's a rocket screen or a fake screen takeoff. And this is a great job by the young fella to not get overzealous and take off early. Watch him break down and really just settle his feet. And gets grabbed in the face there by Terez Jones. But did you see the patience from Talley to really break down and stalk the field corner and take off? And that's a beautiful throw by Shane Carton, laying it out there for his man to go get it.
Pat Clark, PAT. Knocks it through. It's rare to see that Philly defense give up that easy of a long touchdown.
Well, they've been hot. They've been dominating the game so far. So you know they're going to be aggressive, trying to get turnovers on the back end. They didn't stay home right there. They got caught with a little bit of a pump fake and a great sell from Julian Talley. That's why there's points on the board.
You told me early on maybe to pump the brakes a little bit, and you could be right. But defensively, I mean, this is at least make Philly sustain a drive a little bit to score their touchdowns.
Right. You can't give up one play touchdowns. You just can't. You've got to go out and force an offense. And they will be patient, but Dan has made a few mistakes this year with the ball. So be patient, force them into some things they don't want to do. You can't come out and give 3 veteran wide receivers straight man coverage look. It's too easy.
Fun night here inside Wells Fargo Center. And this Philadelphia team celebrating their Arena Bowl title in style, leading by 2 touchdowns. I tell you, Shane Carden started 3 of 10, 43 yards. Since then, 6 of 7, 94 yards, 2 touchdown strikes.
That's what I like about the kid, the moxie, and just keep playing. He's fumbled a snap down there. You saw him struggle with a couple snaps, but he's a guy that just continues to play and wants to really be great at this game. And that's the one compliment Omar Smith, who was great at this game, gave him, is that he wants to be really good. He doesn't want to just be a guy out there.
Clark sends it away, short one. Duval gets his first chance of the night and slips down to the 5.
Nice
I'll say
job.
this, Shane Carden was awesome at ECU. And the other thing about Shane Carden in this league, and you know Omar Smith has been in his ear saying this, it's one thing in the NFL to fall 21-0 down, and we saw the Super Bowl, you can fall down big. But there's a lot of NFL games you fall down, it's lights out. In the arena game, so many things can happen that 21-0 is not a death sentence.
It's definitely not. You just got to keep playing because there's so many things, the ball coming off the bars, fumbles, interception, a team getting greedy, like you just saw from Philadelphia on the defensive end, giving up a freebie.
McDaniel in motion, he's running free again down the middle to get turned around, and the coverage closed late on McDaniel, but they were fortunate, the Brigade defense right there.
And that's one Dan gets away with. Calvin Fantz, longtime Philly player, applying pressure to Dan Rodabach.
Cassie is with a special guest, Jahari Evans. How about it, Cassie?
Yes, guys, here with the man who just signed with the Packers. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have something for you.
see.
I don't know if it's allowed around these parts, but I think the people of Philadelphia might make an exception for you.
Hey, I'm Philly all the way, so we do it good for TV.
Well, congratulations. How does it feel? Has it set in yet?
It feels great. Yeah, it set in when I was there, when I got there, and met with the coaches, met with the team, and I'm excited to be going to Green Bay.
What's it like to think that you're going to be part of an organization like the Green Bay Packers?
I mean, it's a very historic organization. You know, it's awesome, man. You know, just being there for the one day I was there and just seeing all the things, you know, seeing how the fans, you know, interact so much with the team. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
And Philadelphia had a big undertaking, taking on the draft, but did a huge job, very successful. Tons of fans came out. You were drafted 2006, 4th round by the Saints. What do you remember about that day?
It was a great day. Remember getting a phone call in New Orleans, you know, talked to coach. You know, Doug Marrone was the O-line coach, and they picked me, and it was awesome. We were happy, and we were driving down to the Bayou.
And you were with the Saints for 11 seasons. What would the you now tell the you back then when you were drafted?
Do the same thing all over again, duplicate it, I guess. But yeah. It was awesome. I had a lot of good veterans that taught me a lot of things coming in, and you know, just happy to have 11 years there and win a Super Bowl, and looking forward to going for another championship.
What's next for you?
Championship.
Thank you. Congratulations. Best of luck from us. Thank you. Guys?
Good job with that, Cassie. And to Jahari, best of luck with him. Obviously, longtime New Orleans Saint, and it's cool for him. Life is good when you can sign to the Packers and be part of the ownership group for this franchise that just won the Arena Bowl title.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 69 offense. Penalties after this, the goal. Repeat, second down.
All points valid. And to go from a tradition-rich Philadelphia to Green Bay, I mean, he's a Philly kid, so people here love it. They just haven't had the success. You go to Green Bay, and it's you know, the people in the stands are part owners. I mean, it's beloved, so beloved by the community.
Yep.
I mean, there's no better feeling and experience than that.
Second down 18, under 4 to play before halftime. Philly by 2 touchdowns. Money Reynolds in motion, marker down, blow it dead. Coming in late just for good measure there was Casey Obi. False start here.
Prior to snap, false start offense. Number 19, penalties after this to the goal. It remains second down.
Remember I talked about that knocking the soul off rhythm, out of sync. You saw a deflected pass there through the interview that Cassie was given from Dan. He's been under some pressure. All of a sudden you give a team a little bit of momentum, a little bit of help. And now you're struggling to move chains, find yourself in a second and long situation.
From the 4, Kalanamoku, who's been quiet, hasn't really needed to partake yet, was the motion man. The pass deflected and incomplete.
And Calvin fans right now putting on a clinic up front.
First third down that the Soul have faced tonight. And it's going to be a long one at 3rd and 23. From the 4, Kalanamoku and Reynolds to the lefts. McDaniel, the motion man. Here it comes, open, caught, and a first down pickup, backing his way for enough yardage. The first down, but a marker down at the 8. McDaniel, we'll see if it stands, gain 25.
It's coming back.
Personal foul, leg whip. Number 9 of the offense. After this is the goal, third down.
Yeah, that's the fullback, Michael Benson.
Probably losing his footing. You don't want to cut on a 5-step drop anyway. But he goes low. That's I don't know. He just trips over his leg. That's not a good call. These are my guys. I love every one of these officials, but that one right there was a tough one. He was on the ground.
3rd and 25. 3 straight penalties for Philly, and now this one zipped complete and wrestled down by the ankles. That time is Darius Reynolds after he gains 11. Good play by Sony.
It's a great sure-handed tackle. If you're Sony, you can't, on this 4th down, it is 4th down, but you can't be so locked in at stopping the sticks. Because if you settle your brakes at the sticks, you might get one of those stutter and goes by SK or whoever's in motion.
McDaniel in motion on 4th and 14. This one will be blown dead.
Another offensive mistake.
He never got snapped. You just mentioned that you wonder, without the offense being out there much, if they'd kind of lose their rhythm, and we're seeing it now. 4 penalties on this sequence.
False start offense. Number 69. After this is the goal, it's still 4th down.
Center Wayne Tribute. 4 penalties on the drive, to your point.
And not, you know, so when things are so easy or come too easy, it just kind of, it's not a good recipe. This is a team that, if they're locked in and focused up, they're going to be unbeatable. But you can apply a little pressure, and if you can get some things to happen your way, which applies more pressure, see House down on the field, a longtime D coordinator in the league.
And he said that's the 1-minute warning. 28-14 Philadelphia. Week 4 of the Arena Football League on CBS Sports Network. 1 minute warning, and Rodabaugh and his offense have hit a little bit of a wall here on this drive. 4 penalties, then a little bit out of sync. At least they've got the 2-touchdown lead. Coming up here at halftime, a recipe to repeat. Seth is going to give us his bullet points, and he would know. He's won 2 Arena Bowl titles, played in 5 Arena Bowls. To give us what you need to do as a defending champ coming back. First half stats and highlights as well from here inside Wells Fargo Center. And they blow it dead. That's 5 penalties on the drive.
Another false start.
Prior snap, false start offense. After this is the goal, it's still 4th down.
Said, I know you're not shocked by the fact that maybe because they were on the bench for so long, but this is now a little bit, this is way out of character for Philly.
Well, I think Baltimore can muddy the game up because these guys are excellent pass rushers up front. And they can make it look ugly. And they can make it get dirty and ugly. And when that happens, you take a little shine off of that crisp, clean offense.
Yes.
And make them work a little bit harder to do some things.
4th and 23, launched deep, broken up. What a play.
Great play.
Closing down the middle, Varmasoni.
That's a big, big play. And listen, Chris Duval can run. So let me tell you about the stealing nerve by Varmasoni. Get off of the field. He gets up and gives him the boot.
Varmasoni, a huge defensive play, and suddenly this game has changed.
It really has. 4th down play. You see a little swag, a little confidence, a little smile. This team has continued to grind it out. It's not always easy in this game, but if you just make plays, which they've been able to do, you can climb your way back in. And they forced Philly into some costly mistakes on that drive. Very uncharacteristic of this Philadelphia Soul team with their veteran leadership and experience to have the kind of drive that they just had.
So this could get down to a 7-point game inside the final minute of the half. Carden from the 5 dumps it off. Rory Nixon wide open, touchdown. And Baltimore has come from 21-0 down to make it 28-21 with 49 seconds left of the half.
That's a good call. It's a double release route. Again, if you're a defensive end away from trips, smell the rat. You've got to hold them up. You can't want to get to the quarterback more. They went right at John Sheehy, the rookie who hasn't seen that kind of stuff. You've got to understand what's coming to you. He needs to go and attack the fullback, meet him at the wall, not let him get up the field, because that's too easy.
Pat Clark, I said 28-21. There it is. Baltimore on a 21-7 run over the last 11:07, and said, I got to give you all the credit. I mean, it was 5 offensive plays and 4 touchdowns for Philly. Like these quick strike touchdowns. Baltimore defense was not even putting up any kind of a fight. And all of a sudden, Philly's offense goes to that bench for a long time. And they come out and they've got no sync offensively. It all started for the Brigade on this 4th and long from inside their own 5.
And they've been sacked, harassed, fumbled snap, got the 4th and 8 converted. And the big touchdown with the great catch by Laquan Williams. Little momentum. Another stutter and go by Julian Talley, who started the whole thing with a big 4th down catch. And then 4th down. Varmasoni competes. Rory Nixon on the fullback release. And just like that,
You said it, 21-zip, and you said, all right, it's the arena game. Anything can happen here. And then the other thing you said was Philly's offense hadn't been on the field for a long time. And you said, we'll see what kind of sync they can find. And they couldn't find anything. They had 5 penalties on that last drive before the 4th down breakup by Sony.
Things too easy. Things too easy. And I always said, when I played, when a dude when a guy would run the opening kickoff back for a touchdown on offense, or you get out to early points too quick.
Now they try for the onside, but not a great effort that time, and it's pulled out of the sky by Reynolds.
It's okay. You're just trying to create more possessions at the end of the first half. Inside the minute, you see this quite often. Trying to create extra possessions, and that's okay. Your defense was just stellar on the last drive. How do you come out and repeat what you just did? That's what they've got to do right now if you're Baltimore Brigade. If you're Philadelphia Soul, you've got to show the heart of a champ right here. Come out, put points on the board, and execute.
You see the possessions for Philly. Touchdown, 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 and then finally that stop by Baltimore, and now Benson gets it off the left side and falls forward down to the 7.
Philly trying to use the running game to utilize the clock and burn some time. Forces Baltimore to burn a timeout here.
Each team said now I should say Philly. Yeah, Philly still got their full complement of 3. And now the Brigade down to they've got one timeout left after that one. Baltimore as well as Washington, D.C., the 2 expansion teams in the league this year. Ted Leonsis, the owner, and he obviously owns the Washington Wizards, who just advanced in the NBA playoffs.
Is John Wall something else or what?
Oh my gosh. It's on Washington Capitals as well, Leonsis, so he's been huge for that city, that market, and now obviously for the AFL as well. Out of the timeout, again running play, spun down at the 5, and now Baltimore burns their final timeout. Here's the timeline for Baltimore in this franchise. Again, Leonsis owns the DC franchise as well, but said this is quick for a pro sports franchise.
To try to get everything in place very quick. First started signing players January 16th. I mean, very tough to get a roster together, get the guys to know each other. You look on the other end of the thing, Washington had a year and a half to get everything together. Washington Valor did. But listen, this is a coaching staff that understands what they're doing. They know this thing will get better as they go along.
Ripped out far side, then Reynolds gives himself up. Good move.
And that's a no-no situation right there. He could have turned the corner and powered in,
but
he got down on the ground, and they're going to allow time to run.
He meant to do it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you said it was a no-no.
It's called a no-no situation. There's special situations. You get a handoff in the backfield, and you got a wide open seam. You got to fall on the ground because you want to use as much time. You do not want Baltimore to get their hands back on the football again this half.
But that was brilliant by him to get the first down and then go down. Remember, 2 weeks ago we had Philly, and he caught an onside kick and just ran it into the for a touchdown when he should have gone down.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's perfect, right? To get across the sticks.
Well, that's hearing the coach, because I'm sure after that score a couple weeks ago, he probably got the talking to.
Yeah.
When the no-no's on, that means exactly that. No, don't score.
Yeah. So 11 seconds. Baltimore's out of timeouts. You've got a 1st and goal, and said you get first possession of the second half.
That's huge. Let's talk about something that might be on the line here. If you're our guy Michael Benson has 91 rushing touchdowns. If he goes up one more, goes in for one more, he'll tie Dan Alexander. He'll be tied for 5th on the list. Dan Alexander from University of Nebraska, played in this league for a long time.
So do you punch it in here, or is it still too soon?
Still maybe too soon.
Hand off Benson. He's going to power in for the touchdown. He saw that goal line, and with 8 seconds, he scores from 2 yards out.
That's an excellent cut. But now you've got a kickoff. What's a cut here for the 92nd time? The big fella cuts and just powers through Casey Obi.
92 in his career, 5 this season for Benson. 2 tonight. I never get tired of seeing those guys get the ball. I mean, it like feels like I'm seeing it for the first time every time. You see that massive dude that looks like an old lineman.
But that he's got sweet feet, though. That's the thing.
Exactly. It's a fun aspect of this league. And again, his second of the night, and it's 35-21. So we're talking about Baltimore regaining for the first time the momentum. Philly regains it here at the end of the half. So if they can get a stop here, and with only 8 seconds, certainly signs point in that direction, and maintain a 2-touchdown lead into the locker room and get it first in the second half, all things considered, good first half if you're a Soul fan.
Well, it's also a good recovery because things had gone so far south after they were so great early, it went south fast. To be able to recover, if you can get off the field here without giving up any points and you get the ball coming back out, huge, huge.
And, you know, it's always dangerous to give a team a chance for a kickoff, but the way Trevino's been finding iron with Sony back there.
And you see the fans back there. You're not going to, if it hits the net, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
You're not getting a chance.
I never get tired of seeing that. Even in hockey, they're close, but with good reason, you get glass there. You're not able to communicate quite like that. Trevino sends it away.
Oh, this is going to be an opportunity here.
It is for Sony. Varmasoni, he's got one this year. Sony still on his feet, pitched it. Ill-advised. It's still loose, and now Philly's going to get it. 0's on the clock. Baltimore got it back. Still loose. Philly ends up with it. Wow.
I get what he was trying to do, but got to be smarter than that.
Let's see what's going on. They're going to flag on the flag.
Marker down. Come to an arena game and you could see something you don't often see. You can see a few things you don't often see.
Holding number 8 in the receiving team. That is an offensive foul. That ends the half.
So that's how this adventurous half ends. Philly up 35-21.
Great job of regaining control at the end of this half.
Cassie is with the Philly head coach.
Well, Coach, you got off to a fast start and then seemed to fall a little bit flat to end this half. What changed?
We had one bad offensive series there. We didn't protect well. We were jumping off sides. Things were just ugly, but we regained it there on the last drive, got the onside, did a great job of recovering that and scoring last. So now we get the ball coming out. We just got to hold serve.
Going into the second half, what are your biggest concerns right now?
Oh, we got to protect Dan. I don't like the look of that one drive. That was, flat out ugly. I've never seen us look like that in my career as far as coaching and protecting our quarterback. So we're definitely going to sold up at halftime.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Cassie, coach, appreciate it. 35-21. The defending champs trying to run their winning streak to 10 going back to last year's championship season. Jaworski, Vermeil, Joe Flacco's here, Jahari Evans, and Philly showing out our halftime from Philadelphia on CBS Sports Network inside Wells Fargo Center. Comes your way next.
Facility of the Philadelphia Salty Summer Camp.
35-21 as we get set for the start of the third. It's week 4 of the AFL. Phil Bogle, part of that Philadelphia coaching staff, trying to run their winning streak going back to last year to 10 straight. And Philadelphia up by 14, but it could have been worse. Omar Smith's team bounced back nicely towards the end of the half, and he's standing by with Cassie.
Well, Coach, you guys were down 21-0 in that first half, but you made a push to get back in it. What was your message to the team?
That's second half. We got to come out and play better. We dug ourselves a huge hole. Wasn't happy about that, but we did show some perseverance and
dug our way somewhat close, but we didn't handle the situational football well at the end of the first half.
And if we don't see Reggie back out here, how will you adjust the strategy?
Our players got to step up, regardless if Reggie's there or not.
Thanks, Coach. Guys.
Cassie, thanks as we check out the first half stats here in Philly. And you see it's fairly even across the board. The Brigade actually have more passing yardage, but again, so many quick strike plays by Philadelphia early.
Well, what you see there also is the turnovers for Baltimore early that Philly was able to capitalize on and put early points on. And as you heard Coach talk about the perseverance to continue to play. He didn't like the way they finished the half with situational football. However, they've given themselves a chance on the road. They need to come out here right now defensively and get a stop to get their offense back on the field. Give them some momentum.
Well, Shane Carden started 3 of 10, but he closed the half with pretty respectable numbers. He's 10 of 18, 141 and 3 scores at the moment. Philly scored at the end of the half. They get it first to start this third quarter. Who's your favorite to win the league this year? We talked about your bullet points for defending. Is Philadelphia the team to beat?
So far, they are, and they are until somebody unseeds the champ. You've got to go with them, especially when they've retained 90% of their roster. I mean, how do you go against them? You lose Tracy Belton, Neil Tivis, so maybe like 84% or something like that. Tracy Belton, Neil Tivis, and Jake Metz. 3 big losses. However, there's still enough weapons on the field on both sides for this team to get back. And then the fact that they have that experience together, you sprinkle in a John Sheehy, a new guy in the mix, Terez Jones, who was here around a little bit last year, but you sprinkle him in the mix, and now they start to build a little bit of the next wave.
Off the iron, Duvall in a heap of trouble back of the end zone. Heck of an effort by Duvall, but he's ripped down in the middle of the end zone.
It was an exciting, what's going to turn out to be a 2.5-yard game.
Philadelphia runner did not get the ball out of the end zone. By rule, the ball's placed to the 3-yard line. First down.
This feels like there would be fewer feelings that are more uncomfortable than when that thing hits the iron, it's rattling around, and you get guys bearing down on you.
You forget that you have your back to everyone.
And you have your
start.
man, exactly.
That's the most unnerving part, is your back is to everyone.
Reynolds in motion from the 3. Reynolds the catch. Reynolds ripped down. How good is Varma Sony? He doesn't get cheated out there. They do gain 6. Now Sony slow to get up.
Ill afford to lose him.
Yeah, and Reggie Gray went down early in the first half and went back to the locker room. Still hasn't returned, so.
Yeah, the way he was moving, it didn't look like it was going to be a good situation. Wish him the best and a speedy recovery. Hopefully it's not too serious.
Doubtful to return. Catch made out near the 20-yard line. You know whose name we haven't called all night?
Is SK.
That's Sean Kalanomoku right there.
SK.
That's his first of the night.
But I tell you, any one of these guys, either one of these 3 can get hot and rip off 4, 5, 6 catches in a row. And that's the kind of ability they have, and they just go where the matchup's taking them.
From the 19. Handoff Benson, ankle tackled from behind. As he gains a few yards, make it 3. Dexter Davis, I should say that Davis is injured, not playing here tonight, but Casey Obi the tackle.
That's a really good tackle from behind, because Benson is about to turn the corner and turn on the jets. And for a big man, he has some pretty good jets. Again, Clint keeping the Brigade defense off balance, utilizing the rushing attack out in the field, not just down in the red zone, but out in the field, to make you think about covering up different things.
SK in motion, Radabaugh. Radabaugh sacked. Marker down, back at the 13. Robert Hayes.
Offense, number 76. That penalty's declined. Third down.
Holding, so third down and long after that one.
I tell you, whenever they've had to go back and get to 5 steps, it's been pretty tough. You see Adam Smith there, but it didn't look like he was the one. There was about 2 or 3 guys in there that could have got that call.
Amazing.
But a great effort up front. Calvin fans coming back in the game for Robert Hayes, who's been outstanding applying pressure tonight.
3rd and 13. McDaniel in motion, looking for him deep. Never got there, intercepted. Josh Victorian, marker down. Victorian on his feet. Victorian room. Victorian breaks a tackle. Josh Victorian, touchdown, but again, markers down.
On both ends. Yeah, one called by back judge Grannis Bell, which I didn't see very much contact back there. And Grannis usually lets him play.
As you said, yeah, there was one at both ends, a marker.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference defense, number 10. Personal foul, defense, number 8. The pass interference penalty will be accepted. The personal foul is declined. First down, Philadelphia.
Zavar Masoni, PI. Obi committed the other penalty, but that's not going to factor in.
I didn't really see any holding there, but we didn't have a good look at it.
There's the personal foul.
Yeah, that's just not smart. I don't know if that's a personal foul, but you can go over there and stand in front of him so he can't get up. I don't know if you want to go down at him on the ground. It wasn't very tough hit. But listen, if somebody's watching a play and all of a sudden they turn around and see you going down at a guy that's already on the ground, what are they going to do?
We take good care of quarterbacks in professional football. Perhaps sometimes we take a little bit
maybe
too
in that other
care.
league they do, not in this league.
I mean,
can't breathe on those guys, but here they're still football.
Well, he about breathed on him. That's about the extent of what he did.
He's on the ground and he went down to him.
But he just was.
But there's no reason.
Tap.
Just stand there. He gets
just make sure he doesn't get up and make a tap. All right, Radabaugh fires incomplete. That's why you've given me the brush off tonight.
This front right now is proving problematic.
Here we go, Sid. You got a problem with this one?
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
That's football.
I mean,
it's.
I don't have any problem with hitting up around the chest area. For me, it was all about stay away from my legs.
From the Baltimore 24. Second down, McDaniel in motion, pass caught. McDaniel still on his feet. Touchdown, Ryan McDaniel on a beauty with markers down at the end of the 24-yard touchdown play.
They're going to get Varmasoni and possibly Ryan McDaniel as well after the fact, but Varmasoni came over late when he was in the end zone. Tried to give him a little shot.
After play was over, personal foul defense. Number 2. The touchdown is good. That penalty will be enforced on the first play after the kickoff.
I mean,
well, it's not on number 2. It's on number 10. It's a good square in right there. Josh Victorian has got to go finish that play. But right there, it was Brandon Stevens. That's a good call. But then Varmasoni gets shoved down. Victorian has got to finish that play. But right there, Brandon Stevens came over and gave him a little piece. And then Ryan McDaniel with the shove.
extra point good. 4 catches, 93 yards. And 3 touchdowns said for Ryan McDaniel.
Physical finish and showing off the big guns. Philly pulling away.
How about that? In-game autographs from Dwayne Hollis.
A shutdown, Dwayne Hollis.
And now everybody's down there. How great's that? All the kids rush down. 42-21 Philadelphia. Reggie Gray, one of the legends in this league, celebrating his 33rd birthday, went to the locker room with an injury. Still trying to find out what it was. He hasn't returned. Now an onside kick by Philly. Marker down. It's recovered by Philly.
They're offsides, though.
Offsides. It was caught by Torres Jones, but not going to count.
They have to re-kick this because it was recovered by Philadelphia.
You wouldn't double down, would you? Go onside kick again?
Clint is a riverboat gambler. I wouldn't put it past him.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Correction, 1 foul on the kickoff. Offsides on the kicking team. That penalty is enforced from the spinal recovery. Baltimore retains possession. The carryover foul for personal foul is declined. First down, Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore didn't recover.
We'll circle back to that, but McDaniel has had a big night, 3 touchdown catches. Taking the top off on that play. And then McDaniel, yeah.
Talked about that in the open, is the physicality of these 3 receivers.
Wow. I'm still not positive they got it right.
No, they didn't get it right.
Yeah.
If they offset, they've got to re-kick.
Yeah.
You've got to re-kick if it offsets.
Yeah.
Because the foul occurred after change of possession, the foul is offset at the dead ball spot because of the offset, because of
They've got to re-kick this.
But in Kataya's defense, this is a little bit of a tricky one.
It is.
Not everything's black and white, obviously.
No, it's not. Well, Philadelphia recovered the onside.
Yeah.
So he's offset. Baltimore first down.
Do you believe that's the right call?
Philly recovered it. So they can't retain possession because they never had possession.
But can they give up possession on offsetting
exactly.
calls?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it has to be a
re-kick.
A re-kick.
Well, it's going to be Carden. Philly has scored 14 points in a row. And the onside kick after all that failed, so it's good position here on the field at the 12 for Shane Carden. Fires end zone, open touchdown, back shoulder, Julian Talley. And that's the response the Brigade needed.
They try to play a zone coverage, and Talley just splits him and stays vertical up the field. And I tell you what, that's a good job of recognition by Shane Carden, who puts the ball right on him.
Last 3 possessions, 3 Carden touchdown passes. And now Pat Clark, the PAT. 9:02 to play in the third. It's 42-28 thanks to Talley, the second-year man from UMass. Tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, we're on the diamond for college baseball action at the Tar Heel State. East Carolina hosting Tulane in the final of the 3-game set, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I was actually down there in Greenville during the week. Saw them lose to East Carolina, and one of the great quarterbacks in the history of ECU, Shane Carden, 3 years there as a starter. Conference USA MVP, American Offensive Player of the Year, eye-popping stats when undrafted, and he's had an interesting route just in the last year or so, and he ended up right here in the Arena League.
I think when he's all done, and which I don't know how long he'll be here, he's honing his skills, but when it's all said and done, he's going to end up being pretty good. This guy's been outstanding second part of this game.
And he's 3 for his last 3 with 3 touchdowns as DeVault brings it out near the 10. Cassie has an update on Reggie Gray.
Yeah, Brent just finally was able to talk to the Baltimore trainer who has been back in the locker room with Reggie. He told me it is an upper body injury, and I made sure to double check that's what he said, upper body injury, because that play right before he left, it looked like it might have been a leg issue, but he confirmed upper body issue, said it was actually a couple plays before that Reggie hurt himself. He said he's still being evaluated. I asked if we'd see him back out here today. All he said was he's still being evaluated, guys.
All right, thank you. Now Benson out of the 14. Here's the play, a gain of 4 there for Benson. Here's the play that we think it is.
Yeah,
upper body.
Took a lot of shots.
And what's interesting, he tweeted out a short time ago, and let's run this play, and then I want you to to give the tweet and then evaluate your thoughts on what you see here with Philly and Radabaugh out there. Launches deep, caught, no, broken up. Good effort by Stoney. So back to Reggie Gray. This was the tweet earlier.
Big play, Reggie Gray 20 says, "Welp, I guess this is the end. I hate that it had to be on my 33rd birthday. Enjoyed my career. Thank you to my fans." And of course, everyone's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
How long ago was that?
That was 36 minutes ago.
So from the locker room, presumably,
listen,
he tweeted basically calling it a career.
You can't make decisions, emotional decisions at certain times. You got to wait and let everything happen and see exactly what's going on as you see the nice quick strike to Chris Duvault.
He gains 10 right there. And this is what Reggie Gray has done. I mean, impeccable numbers that he's put out there.
I mean, listen, he's played a full season overseas. So a lot of wear and tear on the body, but you see the huge numbers. And I just remember in 2008, him being a practice squad guy in Chicago with us and was outstanding then. Just a great guy to be around as well.
Pass caught again. Duvault, the speedster inside the 10, knocked out there by Stoney.
Getting back in rhythm, using one of the quicker players on the team. Duvault has a second gear. He's able to get out and put pressure on Stoney to play higher and deeper. Creates opening.
Gain of 16, I beg your pardon. So Philadelphia trying to counter the touchdown by Baltimore and make this a 21-point game again. McDaniel fighting for the end zone, got there. Touchdown, Philadelphia. From 8 yards out, McDaniel's 4th of the night.
Catching the ball in traffic. He sits down in the zone. It's a rage formation. They bring him in tight. He sits down in between that zone, and right there he sticks it out over the goal line. But again, showing power, strength, 5 receptions, 101 yards, and 4, as they call them in the locker room, tubs. 4 tubs for Armac.
He's been the guy tonight. Kalena Moku hasn't seen a whole lot, but again, they haven't needed with the way McDaniel has found seams in this Baltimore defense. He's been the guy. Missed PAT 5-12 in the third. Philly leading 48-28. (48-28) in Philadelphia. The NFL draft here all weekend and capping it off on this Saturday night with the defending Arena Bowl champ Philadelphia Soul leading 48-28 on the expansion Baltimore Brigade. Sony bounces off the net loose, scoops it up, and then Sony upended just shy of the 5-yard line. And he's hurt, holding that right leg.
Not exactly what you want to see. Looks like he's grabbing his hamstring.
Reggie Gray already out with an upper body injury, and now Sony in pain.
Going back to the Soul offense, last drive, Ryan McDaniel, his 4th career 4 TD game, his first since week 3 of 2015. So it's been a few years since he had shaken loose. Let's give a shout out to my man Adam Markowitz, who's sending me all my crack notes.
He's making you sound real smart tonight.
He's doing a nice job. He's having to work really hard at it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's a tough job.
Tell me about it. Good to see him get up here.
Yeah, hyperextends it right there, it looks like, and then, yeah, I think it was hyperextension on the jump. And he grabs for the hamstring immediately.
I'm just at least glad to see him with, for the most part, under his own power. Right. These rosters are so small these days that there's not much you can, this is now Sony and Reggie Gray, arguably your best defender and best offensive player, both
There's
out.
only 24 total guys, 21 active spots. So like, what do? You can't just, unless you IR guys and replace them, it's tough to especially when guys are so banged up in the week. You're trying to practice, trying to get prepared. You got to take it easy. And this is, 2 of the losses that Baltimore's had have been 2 guys that you definitely don't want to see out of the game.
Shane Carden, Baltimore offense back out there. He started 3 of 10. He's 8 of 9 since for 110 and 4 scores. Quick hitter, far side, open space. Out near the first down marker against 3 defenders. Julian Talley fighting hard for 9.
I tell you, as this receiving core continues to improve and get more playing experience together and understanding for the game, you see a 10-yard gain, gets a first down. You see him turn upfield and get physical. As they continue to get better and have an understanding for spacing and all the little nuances of this game, this could be a dangerous team as long as Alex keeps getting better himself.
And this time he's sacked. Big play in there by Sean Daniels, as well as Justin Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, Justin Lawrence is that guy that brings it on every play. See a good rip on a Fusia. He gets there first, and Sean Daniels comes in, and we're going to go ahead and have to half that set.
I mean, between Jennings, Lawrence, Daniels, and then this guy who they're so high on, you mentioned earlier, John Sheehy, plus the back end, which, enough said, this Philly defense is stout. Williams.
They are. And here's the other thing, like, when you look at their secondary, right, you see a bunch of guys that are athletic and can run. There's not one of those players in that secondary that's over 200 pounds. So we're talking about 180 pounds for Dwayne Hollis, 175 for Rowe, James Romaine in the middle, and Terez Jones about 195 is the closest. But he's a little more linear, 6'1".
Yeah.
But these guys compete. They play physical. They'll hit you.
And now Nixon got confused and jumps.
False start offense, number 23. 5-yard penalty remains, third down.
That's a lonely feeling, huh?
Once you get moving. Once you get moving.
You know, on the offensive line, sometimes you can kind of hide it. It's, you don't know for sure who it was, but.
Well, that's like, I mean, I used to pull away from center a couple times. When I was early playing, there was so much going on in my mind. I'd pull out of center before. I'm like, oh. That used to make Coach White extremely happy.
I'm sure Danny White was happy about that. From the 5, Carden going to run it. Carden out near the 20-yard line. And again, that's a nice aspect to his game before Gooseby wrestles him into the near wall.
And you see the vet not falling for the okie doke. Carden tried to give him the pump fake out in the open field.
Yeah, like 10 yards past the line.
I'm going to throw it.
That works sometimes, not with Gooseby. 1 of 3 on 4th down for Baltimore, down by 20. Deep in the third quarter, it's 4th and 6. Paul Browning in motion. Carden in trouble. Down goes Carden. Paul loose. Still loose. Picked up by Philly at the 10. Another defensive stop for the Soul. Their third stop of the night.
Teddy Jennings bends the corner. Watch him coming around the edge. He's going to appear, and it's over right there. Takes advantage of Ian Joseph on that right edge. And the thing about this league, if you've got a 5-step drop as a quarterback, you need to plant at 5 and be there and be ready to move up in the pocket. Saw a nice little cup there in the middle. Carden kind of bounces out of the pocket, bounces away from it a little bit, right into the waiting arms of Teddy Jennings.
So a minute to play in the third. Philly has had the ball 7 times offensively, 6 touchdowns tonight. Plus they've got a special teams touchdown, a recovery off a fumble in the end zone. Reynolds in motion, look for him, end zone, corner route, knocked away. That time.
It's a nice job by Josh Victorian, who's a guy that spent a lot of time in the middle. So he's not afraid to get inside and challenge the motion man. He'll take about 50% of the motion as well, even with Varmasoni in there.
Second down goal, pump fake, zip it in there and dropped. It was never caught by Reynolds, so incomplete.
Just been that kind of game for Reynolds, as well as, and not that he's been dropping passes, but hasn't been really involved. It's been all Ryan McDaniel, missed opportunity, but the defense has been stout, stymieing the Brigade here in the second half.
3 in the books, 48-28 in Philly. If you want access to every AFL game at once, go to arenafootball.com, click AFL Live for online broadcasts of games around the league. Philly tonight at Wells Fargo Center, home of the Sixers and the Flyers as well, and the defending Arena Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Soul, in control on offense, up by 20 at the 10 of Baltimore as we start the fourth. Two for three on third tonight. McDaniel in motion. Rodaball with time. End zone open. Touchdown, McDaniel.
Wait till you see the replay on this one. That's number 5 for Armac. Watch the move he puts on Josh Victoria right there in motion. Oh, gives a little two-step. Josh guesses. Oh, well, that's a great move, and that's an option route. He had either way to go. And that's well run. Stepping on the toes of the defender. Wow.
6 receptions for 111 and 5 scores, McDaniel. Last 5 catches all in the end zone. Down the middle, Trevino. It's 55-28 early moments, fourth quarter in Philadelphia. Looking for their 10th straight win going back to last year's title season. $55-28 in Philadelphia. Cassie's got an injury update on Varmasoni.
Brent, the trainer just told me it is an upper right leg injury. They're still having to look at him back in the training room, but said his return is doubtful, guys.
Cassie, thank you. So Reggie Correa and Varmasoni both out for Baltimore tonight. Been a tough one, 55-28. They're down 21-zip and then scored 21 of the next 28 points in the game and got to within 7. But Philly then pulled away, got a touchdown at the end of the half to make it 14 as they went to the locker room. And then Philly has dominated the second half. They're on a 27-7 run. And they lead 55-28 a minute into this fourth quarter as Talley brings it out to the 9-yard line on the return. Philadelphia Soul winning the Arena Bowl title, second in the history of the franchise last year. And here in Philly, what a great sports city, the Phillies. So it had been 8 years since the last professional sports title here in Philly.
Well, that year they won 2 because the Phillies as well as the Soul.
Yep, that's right.
Won the titles.
And Bon Jovi was part of the ownership. Intercepted off the tip ball. Dwayne Hollis for Philadelphia. Trying to make something happen here. A lot of excitement. Returns it to the 17.
Tell you what, this is a play where a young receiver allows the secondary player to dictate what he's doing, making too many moves and paying too much attention to James Romaine. The ball comes out and he's not ready for it.
And now a marker just flies out to the 20-yard line well after the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct after the play was over, number 81, Baltimore. Penalties after this to the goal. It is first down.
That's on Talley.
I know he and Bo Bell were having a few words, but this Philadelphia team has been so deadly. They've gone 37 straight games with no quarters being shut out on offense.
That is shocking.
I mean, that's incredible when you think about it.
Rodabaugh pumps, fires. Ripped out of the air.
SK.
Kalena Moku with a Philly touchdown.
Might be bringing this one back.
Marker down, negating an
Offense,
8-yard
number
touchdown.
72. 10-yard penalty, first down.
We're going to get Keith Newell, but look at this catch. I don't want to say it diminutive, but he's not the tallest guy. But watch him go up in big body like he's 6'10", and just takes it away. That's a great looking play from SK. Give me that. Give me that.
Instead, they back it up to the 18. McDaniel knocked into the boards at the 12.
See zone coverage, and Dan Rodabal just taking what they're giving him. Not going to force it. Being patient. One thing you're going to get when you're playing against a house team, D coordinator for Baltimore, is a lot of mix and coverage. Between he and Omar Smith, I mean, ton of experience, a ton of success. House will call the front, Omar will call the secondary.
Reynolds in motion, second down and goal. Rodabaugh hangs in and nearly has it intercepted by Calvin Fantz.
One thing that's been consistent is Robert Hayes, Tony Poley, Kareem Smith, Calvin Fantz when he's been in the game, Casey Obi, these guys have brought it to that front for the Philadelphia Soul. This is about as much as I've seen Dan Rodabaugh under pressure.
3 of 4 on third down. It's from the 12. With Philly up 55-28. Soul call time here. So we talked earlier, you feel like, you know, until someone knocks them off their throne, Philly is the best team. And this is how they got to that throne, taking down the Arizona Rattlers, who had had a stranglehold over the last several years. Soul came out hot, scoring 21 points before Arizona got on the board. It was 35-21 into the fourth, and the Rattlers tied it at 42 to start the fourth. 10:27 left. Kalena Moku from Rodabaugh. And Philly got the lead back, and Dalzell celebrates the title.
And that was actually the beginning of Dan Rodabaugh really cementing his place as one of the top guys in this league. Nick Davila was the best, one of the best to ever do it, and was the best in this league when he was playing, without question, without a doubt. But Dan Rodabaugh stood up in that game and made the plays coming down the stretch to finish it off and to finally get himself up next to the top guys in this league.
Rodabaugh floats it up, open, almost a one-handed touchdown grab of the back wall by Reynolds.
It's a great effort. He gets hung up a little bit trying to get out. The event staff guys got to know this kid's got a helmet on. I need to move back a little bit.
The wall remains unbeaten.
Well, that's a play we've seen Money make before. He's kind of going off the field. He landed awkwardly into that wall.
If the wall ever would get defeated, I'd put my money on Reynolds being the guy to do it. Rodabaugh retreats, throws back across, marker down and complete on fourth. And we'll see what the call is, intended for Duval.
We get a legal defense, it looks like. Probably going to call drifting.
Both flags are for the same foul. Illegal defense, number 92, the non-rushing yard linebacker, cannot be more than 5 yards deep. 5-yard penalty, also an automatic first down.
All right, folks, let's
Get him in a tough situation on long down and yardage, and you let him off the hook by like committing a penalty.
Lofts it up, Reynolds, touchdown, no. Almost hauled that one in.
It's been that kind of game for Darius. But you just got to finish the play. That's it, finish the play. Ball's out, you're going into the wall. It's a play we've seen him make. Even the one-handed catch he tried a minute ago, we've seen him make that play so many times. And sometimes when you don't get a guy going or get him involved early, it makes it tough.
Quick strike. McDaniel trying to back in there. Got it down to the 1.
He's trying to get that 6. Trying to get that 6th touchdown. He's had 5 twice in his career. He's trying to get 6.
Why not? $123 yards. He's going to be in motion here. Out there with DeVault and Kalanamoku. Handoff left side, Benson. That's too easy. 3 tonight. 6 on the season for Michael Benson. $61-28.
That's way too easy. Good job of setting it up. It's his 93rd touchdown of his career. He bumps our guy Dan Alexander down. They were tied.
Trevino's been money tonight, 62-28, midway in the 4th. 6 plays, 8 yards, and 5:07. It's a pretty long 8-yard drive, huh? It worked out in the end with the sole in complete control. 7:32 in the game, 62-28. And Ron Jaworski is with our Cassie McKinney.
Thanks, Brent. Ron, what a successful night, successful weekend for Philly so far. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, it's been a celebration of football all week long with the NFL draft here and over 250,000 people jamming the Parkway. And we wanted to end it with a real football game. The Philadelphia Soul, the Baltimore Brigade. It's been an entertaining game. We're close to 14,000 people in the building tonight, so it's been a fun night. We're defending our championship. It's nice to give our players the rings and raise the banner.
And let's talk about that draft. You were a huge part of that. Such a great thing for this city this weekend. What can you say about the success? And was it kind of a sigh of relief now that it's over?
No, I'm ready to go next year. Hey, it's been a 14-month process, and it's been a lot of fun doing it. I'm a whack job for football. I love the game. I believe Philadelphia would support the draft, and the fans of this city proved me right. So I spent time with Raj Goodell, Mayor Jim Kenney here in Philadelphia, and everyone liked what was going on. So I think there's a good chance we may get it back in Philadelphia.
And let's talk about this team. Hopefully another great year. How do they get another repeat?
It's hard to win at any level of football. There are great players in the Arena Football League. We've got an outstanding coaching staff, an excellent organization, and our players are the best players in football. National Football League, Arena Football League, you talk about it. I'm not even going to talk about their ability on the field, their character and the way they play the game. And that's important to us here in Philadelphia.
quality football players and quality people. See, I'm doing everything right. I'm going to move the yards marker, whatever it takes.
A man of many hats.
You got it.
And tonight before the game, there was a ceremony to raise the banner. What did that mean for this organization and these fans?
Well, it hangs right here at the top of the Wells Fargo Center with great history and tradition of the Flyers, the Sixers, and the fact that we are included in this community as a championship team is very important to us.
Thank you, Ron. Congratulations
Great to have you with us again.
for all that you do. Thank you. Guys.
He really has been one constant, one stabilizing force in the Arena League since he got involved. And we've seen teams come and go, and obviously owners come and go. But the guy bought in Ron Jaworski from day one, and he's never wavered in his support, not obviously just of his team, but this entire league.
His passion and love for the game has been incredible.
Archer down, dump it off. Running room, tight end, rumbling down to the 11-yard line. And that's a good effort by Ian Joseph. We'll see what the call is.
See, Omar still doing a great job of play
Illegal
calling.
defense, number 19, lining directly up behind the lineman. That's an illegal defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
DC, that's number 18, Joe Gooseby.
34-7 run for Philadelphia since Baltimore got it to 28-21 in the first half.
And this is a team that wasn't really clicking on all cylinders offensively. They've got to help with some special team score, but they've been averaging 52.5 points a game this year, which is down from their 60-plus a year ago.
Browning in motion. And it's intercepted. Look out. Dwayne Hollis off to the races. Touchdown, Hollis.
Again, the growing process never stops, and you see the miss. He sees it, but it's too late. Hollis undercuts the route from a third position. See him coming all the way from the number 3 DB spot, comes all the way out, sees it happening, and undercuts it. And sometimes when you want to make big plays, you got to take some chances.
Trevino 69-28, 423. Impressive stuff.
4 career pick 6 for Hollis.
$69-28. 4:23 remaining. Hollis with his 11th career interception. Took it to the house. And now Philly has 8 offensive touchdowns tonight, 1 special teams touchdown, and 1 defensive touchdown.
It's been kind of a clinic, and that, I mean, they struggled at times, but they have always been able to answer.
And now adding insult to injury. Bobbled in the end zone, and this one will come out to the 3. And a flag on the play. Next Sunday at 1 Eastern, Baltimore hosts the Tampa Bay Storm. The action on the gridiron gets wild. The Arena Football League and the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I'll see you there, Seb.
You will?
Maybe a little break bread on we'll break bread the night before and
crab cakes and football. That's what we do.
Get caught up.
Come on.
Return illegal block in the back. Number 99 of the receiving team. Penalties after this is the goal, first down.
So another penalty in half the distance. So the ball to 1.5 for Shane Carden. So what do you need to see here if you're it's out of reach with 4:10? What do you need to see?
Everything we've seen when they've gotten down or extremely back behind, they've continued to fight. This is going to be a process. I mean, this is an extremely disciplined, well-coached team in Philadelphia Soul.
Soul on a 41-7 run. You saw the note there. Pass complete, and a gain out to the 8.
Want to see more of that.
Laquan Williams.
More of the good hands people. Laquan Williams uses those mitts. It's about as well as anybody.
Second down and 2 now for Baltimore. Second and 2. On their own 8.
Browning in motion from the 8. Williams, the grab again, and unable to get out of the tackle that time of Jones. Who's the second best team in this league?
I don't know. I think there's so many kind of new players that are trying to learn to play together. I think it's going to take a few weeks before it shakes out. I really like what Cleveland's ability is with Arvell Nelson when he's playing at the top of his game and what he's able to bring. Their receiving core is really good as well.
It's interesting that you say that. They started 0-3. They won last night, launched, got a man, overshot him. It's interesting to hear you say that, a 1-3 team, but like you always say, it's a long season.
It is a long. They have 2 of those games won.
Yeah.
2 of those games won and found a way to lose it at the end.
Here are the standings. Again, they started 0-3. They won last night. So Philly's 2-0. Tampa's 2-1.
Washington has probably one of the more talented rosters. They got to find a way to get their offense going. Again, a bunch of new players trying to blend, learn a new offense, trying to make it look good. It's really tough.
Pass caught. Browning out to the 18. Final 2 minutes here in Philadelphia. It'll be 3-0 to start the season. Philly will win their home opener. It'll be 10 straight wins going back to the championship season of last year. And it will round out a really fun last 3 days in this city.
It's been a buzz.
Pass caught. A word about the NFL draft. It's amazing to me how the league has been able to make itself important on every day of the calendar, which is awesome. I think, there's an insatiable appetite for football, professional football, and that's why this league, I believe, benefits as well. But every time, I get the opportunity to host some of these draft shows at CBS Sports Network. Every time you think you've got it figured out, it's been unbelievable as we arrive at the 1 minute warning here in Philadelphia. One minute to play, 69-28. Radamaz had a big night. Philadelphia all smiles, about to go 3-0 at the top of the Arena Football League here in Week 4. And they've outscored their opponents 55-7 in the second half each of the last 2 weeks. You'll take that.
Well, I think adjustments, second half adjustments, being able to trust your guys and know you can set them forth with a plan to make changes. I mean, it makes a difference.
Flag down, corner route, underthrown, intercepted Philadelphia.
But it's coming back.
Torres Jones will get that negated. Now the extracurriculars, he gets thrown down by a frustrated Paul Browning.
It's coming back. Throws late, and he threw right into zone coverage.
Hey, Soul fans, we're at over 60 points here. Take your ticket stubs to any freestanding participating Chickies and Beans for your free crab fries, but also take your ticket with you to Rancheros and get yourself a free burrito. The West Berlin and Voorhees location.
Extending this thing late, huh? 48 seconds. 69-28.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offsides defense, that's a 5-yard penalty. After the play was over, personal foul on the offense. Since the foul was late, both fouls will be enforced. Baltimore will retain possession of the ball, and it will remain first down.
So you move it 5, and then you're going to take it back for the personal foul.
So it'll be at the 21 here for Carden. Shane Carden, 20 of 31, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. 229 yards through the air tonight. Launches end zone, man touchdown. Paul Browning with a late score from 29 yards out for Baltimore.
Good looking throw and catch, and way to finish. And it's a post. He gives him a little stick nod to the corner. Watch him bend it outside to straighten Terez Jones up a little more. But where's he going to go? There's no reason to fall for that. You should just attack the field across from you. That's where your dangerous spot is. Gives him just a nod. That's a nice job of growing up. And you see right there, he was getting a high five from James Rowe, who was one of the best to ever do it. You clocked the guy in the 40, and you wouldn't say he was fast, but this dude ran routes better than anybody in the league. Unbelievable stopping power, and he's learning. This is the guy who Paul Browning is learning from on that staff. So they're going to continue to improve and grow as an offense.
Missed extra point, 69-34. Ryan McDaniel has been player of the game tonight. 5 touchdowns, 8 catches for $123.
Been virtually unstoppable. Starting with that one hand. First you make a one-hand catch, you know you're on. You know it's your day. Yeah. You're going to have one of those kind of afternoons. See the low throw and then the finish with power as he runs through Sony. Again, power. Post up in the middle of that zone. Turn your shoulders, get down and strong and just easy right there. That's one of those. Didn't have to work too hard for that one.
No. (69-34) as we put the finishing touches on this one here tonight in Philly.
I want to get him 7. Let's get him 7 tubs.
7.
Our man Randy Gatewood had 7.
Yeah, he did. Who's the best receiver you played with?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Plus, they're all watching right now. You don't want to offend anybody. You can only pick one.
I can only pick one.
Default out to the 2.
I had some really good ones. I don't know. The best overall route runner, it's got to be between Calvin Shakes-Nader, and Randy Gatewood, between those two. But I had some guys that had some other intangibles. Like Cy Burley could stretch the field like nobody and get up on toes. He was awesome. Chris Horn was awesome, another guy I played with. I played with a lot of really good receivers. Hunky Cooper probably had the will of a 10-foot dude.
That's awesome.
All 5 foot, he says 8, but 5'7" of them.
Up the middle, Benson. They're going to let this thing run. Philadelphia's going to be 3-0, 10-game winning streak going back to last year. It'll be 1-2 now for the Baltimore Brigade. And Philly at the top of the AFL. It's where the end of the season last year. That's where they are after 4 weeks this year. And Luke Collis back in quarterback, taking a snap there in his 3rd year. And again, you 2 major injuries in this game. Barmasoni, although his didn't look in the end to be too bad, but he left the game for Baltimore. And Reggie Gray looks to be possibly a collarbone injury for him. Tweeted earlier tonight that it was the end of his career on his 33rd birthday. We'll wait to see if that shakes out a little bit.
I hope it's not, but if it is, it's been a pleasure, Reggie Gray. I was there when you came in. Knew you would be something special. It was incredible to work with you, man.
And I think you and everybody would like to see him maybe you know, in the heat of the moment, that could be one of those tweets. Nevertheless, he did tweet it out. But anyway, rough night for Gray and his team. 69-34 Philly as we send it down to Cassie.
Well, Coach, tonight was a perfect example, but over the last few weeks, you guys have been dominating in the second half. What does that say about the trust in this team?
Well, we got a bunch of veterans, so we go in at halftime, make adjustments, and we fix it out there. So that's a credit to those guys. And, you know, we still got a long ways to go. We had a lot of mistakes tonight. We got to sew up our protection. So we'll take the win, but we're going to get better.
And we always like talking about Dan Rodabaugh, but tonight, Ryan McDaniel stepped up. What did you like from him?
That's Ryan. You know, if you play him man-to-man, he's going to win, especially in the red zone. So, you know, it's week to week. It depends on thank you. It depends on what kind of coverage you play. It's all about that. Dan's going to deliver the ball, whoever gets it.
All right, Coach, go enjoy it. Thank you. Guys?
Rodabaugh throws 5 touchdowns, all to McDaniel. That'll do it from Philly. Once again, final 69-34. Coming up next, it's Poker Night in America. Sunday, May 7th, the AFL returns to CBS Sports Network at 1 Eastern as Baltimore hosts Tampa Bay. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. For Sed Bonner, Cassie McKinney, and our entire talented CBS crew, I'm Brent Stover. Thank you for joining us. So long from Wells Fargo Center.